Welcome back, mi gente. It's your girls, Nati Natalia and that killer Brit. So
Period.
today on episode 22, so shout out to everybody who's been writing with us so far. Like, thank you so much. We love you
Real
guys.
MVPs.
Yeah, definitely. So shout out to you guys. And if you're new here, welcome. We love you guys. So today we want to talk about something that's pretty important actually, due to an event that Brit encountered this past weekend. And we thought it was a really
Yeah.
good topic to discuss. So the topic is why Hispanics, Latinos, Latinx should not use the N word. So we're gonna go into that. I'm gonna let Britt give a little detail about what she experienced, and then we'll just start the conversation of our opinions and how we feel about it. So go ahead, Britt.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. So let me start off by saying that shit, I was so basically there was like a situation that happened that literally pissed me off to my core because I was like, me being a Hispanic woman, you know, I just don't approve of minorities talking trash, especially to other minorities. Like, we're
Mm-hmm.
all on the same level. We're all considered a minority. Why the hell are you down degrading other minorities? I think that that's very
Mm-hmm.
stupid and it's very idiotic, and it just shows how in the Hispanic community we don't really think about other things that are going on to other minorities as well,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So basically what ended up happening was, your girl was getting lit on Saturday in Fort Lauderdale. I was having a great ass time,
Yeah.
drinking and sipping, dancing, la hookah, all of that good stuff, right? Until it comes to the point where we're trying to decide where we're going, right? And this group had met up with us, I guess, but I didn't know anyone. I was somebody's plus one. So the group met up with us or whatever, and so then we wanted to go to this club or whatever, and it was like dance hall, like rap, like, it's more my scene basically, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
into things like that. And so the person and then another person in the group who was white, actually, she's into things like that, you feel me? Like, we like things like that, where I personally don't like listening. I can listen to tiki tiki, which is like EDM music, but like I can't do it all night. Like, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
So the good thing about Fort Lauderdale is you have the tiki tiki music, you have the Spanish bar, you have, like, you want to get lit, the ratchet bar, you feel me? Like, you have all of those choices. But Fort Lauderdale, I think, is predominantly white, like in the
Agreed.
sense of, like, in the where the bar hopping scene and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, there's like a very high predominantly white area. And so whatever, so we're trying to choose, and then this guy from who I literally didn't I don't even know his name, okay? He literally whatever joins their group or whatever, and everyone was like, oh, like, let's go to Club Euro, let's go to Club Euro. Mind you, Club Euro is so lit. Like, if you want to, like, throw it back to the days when you have Pop Lock and Drop It, and like, girl, and like all these songs and like Migos and all of that, Club Euro is a spot to go. Okay, first of all, the hookah is super cheap. It's like $30, I think. It's so good to, like, it's like it's a great time
Yeah.
personally. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
had a phenomenal time when I went. So basically, whatever, fast forward, so they're like, so the guy whose party I'm a part of, he goes up to him, he's like, yeah, like, let's go to Euro, let's go to Euro. He's like, what? I'm not going to Euro. It's an Nigger club. I
Mm-hmm.
mind you, I didn't hear that. So all I hear, because I'm talking to my friend, oh, if we go to, I'm already talking about going to Club Euro basically. So all
Mm-hmm.
I hear is the white girl, I guess you can say, that's in our group, and she's like, what the fuck? Da, 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 da. Like, she literally, okay, so she's behind me because she's like listening to her, because the person that was talking to that guy was her cousin. So she's like trying to listen to her cousin, I guess, like, what is this guy saying basically. So while I'm talking to my friend or whatever, all I see is her she's like walking past me, like, but like going, I was like, yo, like, what happened, And so then she snaps on him, and she's like, oh, don't you ever say that shit, blah, 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 blah. Like, I have my brothers that they're like from the Black community. That's not something that you ever say to describe a club. Like, that's so disrespectful. And that's like, who the hell do you think you are? And he tells her that, oh, I'm Hispanic, I am allowed to say that. And then that's when I pop off. So while he's saying that, he's walking away to his little bitch group, right? So he's already walking away to his little bitch ass group. So me and my homegirl, we're like, yo, like, what the fuck is your problem? Don't you ever, like, that to me is like so annoying at the fact that you think it's okay to use the N-word to describe somebody. Are we in the 1600s? Because
Yeah.
last time I checked, it's 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was so aggravating and annoying and hurtful and embarrassing. Actually, as a Hispanic woman, I don't ever want to hear someone from my community referring, which is, my community is a minority, referring to
Mm-hmm.
another minority to degrade them. Because I could have easily said, oh, well, you're a fucking spick and a fucking wetback,
Mm-hmm.
and oh, I can say that because I'm Hispanic, or I can say that because I'm white. Never. Like, that is across the board. Don't ever degrade people, because I think that's so shameful, and it shows the type of person that you are. So to me, what that made me want to do is attack you like a fucking gorilla and
Yeah.
beat your fucking ass. That's what it really made me want to do, because I'm like, yo, like, I have friends who work so hard to not fit into the stereotype that people have for people of color, and you're gonna sit here and think that you can just degrade people because of their color of their skin. No, bitch, this is not the 1600s. You really got me all the way fucked up, because best believe I don't give a fuck. I tell my friends all the time, I will clap at a male, no fucking problems. Okay, I will definitely whoop your ass. I do not
Mm-hmm.
care. My dad is
Yeah.
at 350 pounds, bitch. If I could take down my daddy, I can definitely take down your skinny ass, and I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck, and I will pop the fuck off. Like, no, I don't play that
Yeah.
game. That
Mm-hmm.
to me is like, it's like, and it's embarrassing, because it's like, how can you say I'm Hispanic? I can say that.
Yeah.
Are you on like crack? What crack
Mm-hmm.
are you on at this point? Like, and thank God his bitch ass, I never interacted with him. And I was very grateful at the fact that, you know what? That just shows what type of person you are, how much
Mm-hmm.
of a trashy person you are, and that you have no class. You and your pink fucking blazer that you were fucking sweating through, bitch. That shit pissed me off. That literally pissed me off so much. I was like, don't ever come for people when your ass is not up to par. Please don't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll be the first one to call out it. Fuck
Yeah.
is given.
It's just a really low level that he didn't have to go to. And um it's just disrespectful. That's the ultimate sign of disrespect. Um
Yeah.
and I was doing, like, when you texted me that we should do this topic, I started researching it. So um for those who don't know the history of this, the N word came about when Black people were slaves. That's how they were addressed
Mm-hmm.
as. So this term is used to describe someone who's basically, um, back then, in terms like lowest of the low, and it was a hate word. It's a disgusting word to use. And then the word kind of changed. I would say maybe around like the 90s, 80s, when you see
Yeah.
these hip hop rap, like underground rap, like Immortal Technique, NWA, all these other upcoming rap artists using it not only in their rap name but in their rap lyrics. But what they
Mm-hmm.
did was they took the word back. That instead of my ancestors were ashamed of this word, but I'm going to honor the word, I guess you could say. But so now it's not like we don't use the we're not going to say that. To me,
Yeah.
in my opinion, I don't think anybody should say that unless you are of
Same.
that race and ethnicity. To
I agree.
me, like you said, I hate the word wetback. I hate the word spick. I
Yeah.
hate these other words that are used to describe us Hispanics. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want somebody to come up to me and say, oh, like, what's up, wetback? Or like, we don't even use that within our community. I think that's what I was going to
Exactly.
lead into next, was for minorities other than the Black community. I don't even think we have a word like that. So when we say, oh, I'm Hispanic, no, 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 that's exactly the point. You're Hispanic. You can't relate to them. We could, in a sense, get a feeling for how they feel, but our history is two different things.
Yeah.
Now we're together in America where we do see that, there's a lot of social injustice that goes on, but we're never going to know what it's like to see our ancestors like that. I mean, in a sense,
Exactly.
you could compare it to the field workers here, but still, it's so different. Um, so my opinion is I don't use the word never, no. Like, even if you're my
Yeah.
friend, not gonna use that because that's just something that I don't want to say. Like, I'm not of that race, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was talking to my brother and I asked him, like, hey, like, do you have any friends who are like Mexican or Hispanic, whatever they may be, and do they use this word? And he was saying that his close friends don't, but some of them do.
Mhm.
But the friends that he has that are black, they kind of not necessarily check them because I guess that's kind of um they're like they're friends,
Mhm.
and they like it's just like their thing. But I've heard mixed reviews where some people are like, no, don't even use that word. But some people
Yeah.
are like, if you're my homie, then you can.
Yeah. I think personally, me, um, I've used the word before with the A,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, because
Mm-hmm.
that's just growing up. I feel like, okay, so for me, I never grew up in like a predominantly white community. It was
Mm-hmm.
more of people of color and
Yeah.
Latinos. That was like my friend group, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when you hang out with that group, those groups of people, you get sucked into, I guess, the culture, I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of like, you're around your friends and you're so used to hearing it that you think it's okay. But now I've learned, through my own, like, I did the research as well. And I was like, so what is the purpose of this word, and I saw where it came from and things like that, and actually stopped using it. And like,
Mm-hmm.
I really like think that if you're not, like you said, from that race or culture, you shouldn't really use it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I try to take it out of my vocabulary as much as possible. Does it slip out? Yeah, but do I tell myself stop it? Like, I put myself in check before I can even, before I let it. I don't want my friends to feel uncomfortable, like, because I do have friends that are people of color, of course,
Yeah.
and I would never want them to think that I'm saying it in a way that's going to be derogatory towards them. So I just
Mm-hmm.
prefer to just like take it out of my vocabulary, you
Yeah.
know? So like
Mm-hmm.
right now I'm in the process of just like removing. Oh, actually, no cap, guys. Your girl's trying not to curse. That's why I've been spelling a lot more, because like I'm really trying hard not to curse.
Mm-hmm.
Um because like I just feel like, what's the point of cursing? Like I'm going through this whole epiphany right now, guys. So we're in this together at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just trying not to curse in general, and definitely not using like the N word, the B word. I feel like I've gotten better through, if you guys watched the first podcast
Yeah.
compared to now. Every other word was F S
Yeah.
shit, or like,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm really trying hard. Unless I'm really upset, then I'm like a sailor. Okay,
Yeah.
don't make me mad. If I'm not mad,
Yeah.
I'm chilling and vibing. But if I'm
Yeah.
mad, I'm a sailor, and I'm so sorry. I'm a sailor
Mhm.
to like the death of me, because just
Yeah.
don't make me mad. But I definitely think in the Hispanic community now, like after doing my research and everything, I don't think we should be saying it, to be honest. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we don't know what it's like you say, to have our ancestors being lynched, being freaking workers in like cotton fields, like having their hands rough. Yes, it's equivalent to what our people are going through now in reference to like the field workers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is when it shows that, why are we downgrading people of color or any other minority when
Mm-hmm.
our own people are going through the same struggle now? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, I wouldn't want no one to be like, oh, this wetback, this spick. Like, no, I would be highly upset, and I'd be like, yo, watch your effing mouth. But like,
Yeah.
that's not what you say. That's not how you approach people either. Like, who are
Mm-hmm.
you at the end of the day, to be
Yeah.
honest?
Mm-hmm. I think that's why it's important to do the research, because I mean, before doing that, like, I didn't know too much about it. Like, I grew up how you grew up too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
majority of my friends were not white. Like, I
Yeah.
no, my schools were Asian, Hispanic, and Black. They weren't like, I mean, you had an occasional like white person, but very rare.
Yeah.
So for me, I just grew up like, let me not say this, like they say it, but I'm not gonna say it. So I never felt
Yeah.
like, um, but that's also too how I was raised. I was taught not to say that word, like you
Yeah.
don't call people this. So yeah, like um where is I gonna go with this? It's also with our parents,
Yeah.
where you have basically what I'm trying to go with this is we need to unite instead of being divided,
Yeah.
um, because there's just so much hate. Why over skin color, bro? Skin
That's
color. And if you
crazy.
think about it, we have no opinion, say, choice over how we come into this world. Okay?
Facts.
Nobody comes into this world thinking, I'm gonna go dye my skin color blue, I mean, if you wanted to, cool, go ahead, do your thing. But we don't get that choice. If anything,
Yeah.
the lighter complected ones, I could go out and tan because I want to be a little darker. But otherwise, I don't choose my ethnicity, I don't choose my skin color, I don't choose that.
Yeah.
But what I do choose is I could choose to respect people for who they are and ask them like,
Facts.
hey, so what as a Hispanic woman, what can I do to edify you, to show you respect,
Mhm.
to learn about more of your culture? Because I would want the same thing, when I
Yeah.
hate, like how we were talking, I hate when people say wetbacks or people who like, oh well, Hispanics are good runners because we run across the border, or we swim
Yeah.
over here, like all these dumb little things that are just petty and they're not funny. Maybe they're funny for like a second, but that's it. We need to stop
Exactly.
that. And I just don't think it's appropriate. I don't think it's appropriate. And especially right now in this political climate that we're in,
Exactly.
what gives you the idea that saying that word would be okay? But shout out to you and shout out to that girl, because you
Yeah,
do
for
really have to check
real.
people. Because I see
Yep.
some people who say it and I'm just like, you no, this is
Bro.
not okay. But I see some other people who are like, why'd you like, you don't tell them anything. And it's like, no, we can't keep quiet, because if we keep quiet, there's going to be the next generation to come where they think it's
Yep.
okay and it's not okay at all.
Facts.
So it's, you see something, you say something.
Yep. And I 100% agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, like, I think it comes to the point, like you say, that it's like you take, for example, I could say I have the privilege of being like my complexion is light.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, I didn't choose my skin color. Like
Mm-hmm.
my mom's Honduran, my dad's white.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I came out. So I have that privilege. Why is it that I'm just gonna stay quiet? No, I'm gonna take my privilege that I have and I'm gonna stand up for somebody who, like you said, doesn't get to choose their skin color. Don't nobody
Mm-hmm.
choose their mommy and daddy. It doesn't happen like that, okay? Like,
Yeah.
you don't just say, hey, you're gonna wake up one day, right? And I'm black, and then, oh no, tomorrow I'm gonna be white. I'm just gonna, scrub myself with my freaking soap, and now I'm white. No,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't exist. That's
Yeah.
no. So, like, for me, one, seeing that girl, like, who was literally 100% white, like she was white, like,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like your typical blonde hair, light colored eyes, like flaquita, like all of
Mm-hmm.
that, like literally. And I made me like, okay, yes, what happened was upsetting, but it made me happy to see, wow, there really isn't bad white people,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like now there's a lot of people, the Karens and the Kens that
Yes.
give white people a bad name.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my dad is white, but he has a heart of gold. He loves
Mm-hmm.
everybody, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he literally does. If you guys know him, if y'all met him, y'all know Donnie, okay?
Yeah.
Trust me, you can't miss him. And so to me, it's upsetting at the fact that it's like, wow, why is it that, like, we don't have more people who aren't scared to be like, yo, like, what the fuck, what the f is your problem? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you going, like, what's going on with you or your insecurities to bring that out? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, that's incorrect. Like, that's when, like, I think that it's time for the Hispanic community and the white community and all the other minorities to get together. And you know what? Why are we saying this? Start analyzing yourself, and why are you talking the way that you talk? You know, like I think your environment has to do a lot with it. For
Yes.
example, white people, people from like Kentucky, Illinois. No, not Illinois. We'll do like Minnesota and things like that. They don't really have, I would like to call them bouncing sal. You know, they don't really have that ethnicity like you find in Miami or like you find in LA. Like, yo, you can
Yeah.
I can literally go to downtown Miami anywhere in the world if I wanted to. Like I really can. Like it's
Facts.
that multicultural that we have here that I appreciate compared to any other state. Miami is the most diverse, I think personally. You can find a little bit of everything in Miami, honestly. And so for me, it's to the point where it's just like, I wish that we could take our diversity to the whole United States to be like, yo, these are my people. You feel me? Like, let's show them how to be with one another. Because I can say that I have a lot of friends that are from different backgrounds and they're so proud of who they rep. You feel me? Like, yo, I'm Jamaican, I'm Honduran, I'm from Nicaragua,
Yes.
I'm from El Salvador, or shit, I'm Haitian. Yo, I'm from the islands, St. Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's just so beautiful that we really do rep where we're from. And my goal or what I would love to see in the future is for us or like our community to be able to hit or touch other states and be able to show them, hey, I thought it was frozen. Okay.
Oh no,
And
sorry.
then being able to like show those other places like, yo, like you can be unified with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, does racism obviously occur in Miami? Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But do I think that we have enough people to put people in check? Of course. Shit, I don't give a fuck. I will put your ass in check. I really, if I hear something, I don't give a fuck. Like, I would
Yeah.
literally be like, what the F is your problem? Like, really, like, what is it? Because that to me, those things like that really, really tick me off. Because I don't ever want someone to feel like degrading
Inferior.
about yourself, yeah, or like feel like, oh, that you're less than somebody. Never. Don't
Yeah.
ever put yourself in that category, because I don't feel like nobody is less than nobody. Okay, I don't care if you have $1 million or you barely have $1 in your account. I really don't care. Respect is respect, and that's something that's earned, not given, especially
Yeah.
not because of your freaking color of your skin. No,
For
bitch.
sure. Yeah. To me, completely 100% agree. I don't care the color of your skin. I don't care what's in your bank account. I care how you carry yourself as a person.
Yep.
Um, and when it comes to things like this, I think it's so important to, our first instinct can't be to turn to violence. You know,
Yeah.
sit down and have a conversation, because when you see two people fighting or one person's yelling, that's gonna make the other person want to yell. Or you throw a fist, I'm gonna throw a fist too, you know? And then at that point, it's survival of the fittest. You're going in for the
Yeah.
kill. And at the end of the day, you're just ending up with more hate than leaving with, maybe not every talk is going to have a good ending. There's going to probably take a lot of conversations, especially
Yeah.
with this. But it's better to at least be able to sit down and educate somebody peacefully. And what I've
Yeah.
seen occur with all these, like Karens and Kens, is that's the first thing. Instead of coming up to somebody and saying, you know what, I do have a different opinion than you. I am not the political party as you. I am not the same race background as you. So I don't believe what you believe, but let's talk about it. No, what do I see? People coming in each other's faces yelling. People,
Yeah.
like step up. And it's
I'm
like,
those
dude,
people.
yeah.
I'm those people. I'll be ready to jump. I'm always ready to jump. And it's so bad. But I'm trying to come, guys, again, I'm
Mm-hmm,
going to Epiphany right now. I'm trying to like, use my words more correctly and articulate
mm-hmm,
better compared to just going to the for the throat. Because I really have no
mm-hmm.
problem. I made a promise to my mom too. I wasn't ever gonna fight
Yeah,
nobody and
yeah.
shit. So I'm trying to keep my promise. You feel me? So
Yeah.
I'm really trying to, because she's like, I don't want to see you in a jumpsuit. So really, that's what I'd be thinking about before I
Yeah.
like attack
Mm-hmm.
people. But it's just so hard, I think, when you see someone so ignorant, because you're literally like,
Yeah.
yo, if I literally pop them in the head one time, maybe the common sense will like come back. You feel me? And then you're like, you gotta like talk yourself out of it, because there's a lot of times that I see these stupid Kens and Karens. Like, bro,
Mhm.
they are out there. Don't get me wrong. They are out there. Like, they
Mhm.
really are. And sometimes I like look at them, or especially like for me, a lot that I see with the Kens and Karens, I don't see it more towards the people of color community, but I see it more towards the Latino community, where they'll be like, oh, why don't you speak English? Like, that's the primary language here. Actually, correction, America has no primary language. Okay, just putting that out there. So like, it's like you're being so ignorant to the fact that like you sound stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
so for me, it takes everything in me. Like, I can put you in check, but sometimes if you talk back to me a certain way, I'm ready to jump on you.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Mhm.
like, I just don't tolerate that. I feel like it comes to the point, I rather, why don't people know just how to stay quiet, you know? Or like, if you have that thought in your head, address somebody, have a conversation with them, like you say, you know?
Yeah. You know what gets me mad when I hear it's my First Amendment right? No shit, Sherlock. So just how you want to use your
Bro,
First Amendment right and you want to think this way, cool. God bless you. Do your thing. But don't get mad when people are also using their First Amendment right. And
yes.
that's another thing. Like, just because you see somebody who's a different color as you, like who's a minority, doesn't mean that we all crossed the border. Doesn't mean that we
Yep.
all came here as slaves.
Facts.
You know, our ancestors, yeah, some of our grandparents, our own parents, yes, and even some of us may
Mm-hmm.
have, but don't classify a whole minority because of that. And
Yep.
at the end of the day, every person, no matter the skin color, the race, we all have bad people. You know,
Facts.
we're not superior. And
Bro.
this
Yeah.
whole thing about, oh well, you know, yeah, it's good to have pride, but don't let that pride go to your ego. You know, humble yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be willing to accept
Yep.
people, because we're just gonna have these wars on our streets that we bring to ourselves when there's bigger situations. Look at Armenia, man. Like, that breaks my heart
Yep.
seeing that. That's something that needs to be talked about. But we're still fighting because of our skin color. We're still fighting because of languages. We're still fighting because of communities. That makes no sense to me. That's a big joke when it's a privilege to have that. Like, yeah, it's a privilege to have that fight, but it could be 10 times worse. You know what I mean? Like, it's time to just shut the fuck up, forget what happened, because we're here now and we're trying to make it right. You know,
Yeah.
like, that's one thing too. Like, it's always the past. Oh well, like my ancestors and my ancestors, hell yeah, God bless your ancestors, because we would not be here if it wasn't for all of them. But we're here
Yeah.
now, and guess what, we are not them, we are us. So we're either going to change history or repeat it. I'd much rather change it to be better, because this whole textbook stuff, I'm over it. Over
Bro,
it.
yes, I agree. And it's come to the point where it's like we need to be better than our antepasados, the people before
Mm-hmm.
us. You know, what are we doing to be better, you know, better part of the community? Like you say, like, yo, in especially in the Hispanic community, all my Latinos know there's so much racism even within our own community.
Exactly.
It's sad, yo,
Mm-hmm.
there's Cubans like in Cuba, right? I know a lot of Cubans, you know, I'm from Miami, that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot, but like within Cuba, like they don't even get along with people who are dark Cubans. They're like Afro Latino Cubans.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get along with them because they're dark skin complexion. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that is so stupid. You guys are all Cubans though. Why are you fighting with your own people? Mind you, you guys are having this racial battle when you guys are still a freaking communist country. Shouldn't it
Yeah.
be against your government that you should be working towards, like, to fix that political system? So it's like we have bigger issues, you know, like especially in the Latino community, we have a lot of issues that we need to resolve. Okay,
Oof,
first of
amen,
all,
bro.
all these people who are working hard in this country, who are a lot of my cousins that are trying their hardest to become citizens in America, that are being denied. Mind you, they get their taxes taken away every time they pay their check. Like when they get their checks, like, you know, they pay
Yeah.
taxes, all of this stuff. They're not getting nothing. And you think that I'm gonna sit here and have an argument with somebody from my own community when I already know the struggle that my community is going to? Vice versa. My friends who are people of color who are going through a struggle, you think I'm gonna get into an argument with my friends when I see what they're going through in order to finally, after 200 years, not be having people be using the N-word like there's no tomorrow? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it comes to the point
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, you, how naive can you be to be like, yo, let me be part of that change, because you know what, this is not cool. Like, it's really not
Yeah.
cool at the end of the day. It comes to the point where you need to really, like, you know what, guys, I'm sorry to say this, we're not in high school anymore, you know? And those of you who are
Exactly.
in high school, this is your time to pick and choose who you want to be outside of high school. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? This is your point that you have. You have high school's 4 years. You have those 4 years to see who you want to be for the rest of your life. That's where you're
Mhm.
figuring out yourself, right? And those
Mhm.
of you who are out of high school, what are you doing? Are you going to be part of the problem where you're just going to sit back and let all your friends say, hey, and this and that? And no, like, are you kidding me? Or are you going to be part of the solution where you're just going to be like, you know what? Yo, like, honestly, we're cool and stuff like that, but I just don't really appreciate you using that just
Mhm.
because to me, that term is very offensive. You know what I'm saying? Have that uncomfortable conversation. Do we not have these conversations all the time? It's time to
Mhm.
get comfortable with the uncomfortableism behind all your conversations, okay? You need
Yeah.
to have those conversations. Yes, they're uncomfortable. Yes, but you need to understand. I feel like we all want to have like this, like you say, it's my First Amendment right, but yet we all lack communication.
Oh.
So
Period.
let's be honest, you know,
Yeah.
literally no one knows how to communicate with each other because you know how we
Exactly.
communicate, like dogs barking. So
Mhm.
it's like, if you can't even learn how to communicate and be receptive with one another, then we're not going to find a solution. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. Am I so happy that I barked at that guy over the weekend? Oh, 100%. And it felt so good. But if I ever were to see that guy again in the street and I would see him do it again, I would have that conversation with him there, and I'd be like, yo, you don't know me, but I remember you from that time when I went out and you made me feel uncomfortable. And you didn't just make me feel uncomfortable, you made the group of people who I was with feel uncomfortable. And this is why you don't use that term. Okay?
Mhm.
This is why.
Mhm.
Like, have that conversation, because a lot of the times they have this idea, like how he did, oh, I'm a minority, I can say it.
No.
No, sorry. That's not a valid excuse. That will never, and mind you, never be a
Mhm.
valid excuse to say, actually.
I came across two videos. One, well, this was back maybe around last year.
Mm-hmm.
Gina Rodriguez, actually, she was singing along to a song, and
Oh, I
she
think it was
said
the
it.
Fuji songs, the Fugees, no? What did I think was the
Oh, I
Fugees?
don't know what it's.
It
I
was
don't remember the
something,
song,
yeah.
but I
But
just
I
remember
remember
that
the
she was getting the,
situation.
yeah, like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people were coming for her, and you know, like she posted an I'm sorry, things like that. But I didn't really pay attention. And then I remember one video. It was Kendrick Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
He was performing, and he asked a fan to come up, and he was like, okay, like you're gonna like rap the lyrics or whatever. So she started
Mm-hmm.
rapping the lyrics, but she said the N word, and he stopped her, and he explained why that's not okay for her to do, because I think she was white,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, yo, you know, like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But he was like, it's okay, but I'm just going to educate you so that way you don't do it again. Because to me and to my community and my ancestors, it's not all right. It's not okay.
Yeah.
Spread more love, people.
Yeah.
I think it takes so much work, so much more energy to spread hate than it
It
does to
does.
spread love. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Of course, been there, I get it.
Yeah.
But you know, it just has to stop. And it starts with you. Like, you could be an example. People may not tell you like, oh, you know, like, yeah, you know, da 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 da, but people could see how you are and remember
Yep.
that. And people are going to
Yep.
remember the way you carry yourself, and the people are going to remember how you made them feel, you know. So when
Yeah.
people, like how Brittany, that interaction with that guy left a really negative impact about him. So the next time she sees him, she's probably going to be on guard. Like, are you going to do it again? You know how you said, like, next time I'm going to
Yeah.
pull him. So don't be that, you know. You can't redo a first impression. You really can't.
Yeah. That's
So
on period, actually. I'm telling you guys, if that's one thing, you can never redo another first impression.
yeah.
What someone gets off that first time meeting you is either a yay or nay. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's literally the start of whatever that could be, a friendship, a relationship. That first impression is everything. Okay, let me tell
Yeah.
you, that is everything. Now we need more people to advocate for all of our minorities. And I'm not just
Mm-hmm.
saying people of color or Latinos, but also Asian Americans, also Middle Easterns, also Europeans, all our minorities. We need to come together and be like, you know what? Yeah, enough is enough. Stop the BS,
Yeah.
and we need to keep it moving and keep it forward. So,
Yep.
guys, this is exactly why we're having these uncomfortable conversations with you guys. Because we honestly, I feel like these are topics that we literally talk about all the time, but no one ever has the balls to talk about it, in the
Yeah.
sense of like, oh no, I don't want people to think like I'm racist, or like, I don't think that you're racist, you know what I'm saying? But let me give you my point of view, you know, let's have a
Mm-hmm.
conversation, let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can, not only will you learn from me, I can learn from you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I feel like this is the platform that we have in order to talk about these uncomfortable things. And we really truly appreciate that you guys have given us that platform as well. Because honestly, like, I can honestly say for myself, like, I was so quiet like through high school. Like, I wasn't really like no, like, I
Yeah.
literally, like, for most of my high school, I literally had like the same four friends, I think. And then like my senior year, then I became like a little poppin', not a lot though, like a little. And so that's when I like, and then once I started working, that's when I started evolving. And then that's when I realized, I was like, honestly, like, I'd rather hear other people's opinions and see their points of views compared to just staying quiet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like, you learn a lot from people. So you know what? Learn a lot from everyone who you're surrounded by. Start analyzing them and see who you want to be. Start analyzing yourself, guys. So thanks for listening to another episode of Las Chicas del Barrio. We really do appreciate you guys. Like we said in the beginning, honestly, like, your games are amazing. Your love and support are amazing. Yo, the loyalty is like, it's disgusting in a good way. Like, how beautiful you guys are. Like, literally, I'll be like, yo, because mind you guys, I work for the federal government, so I'll be having some stressful ass days, and
Yeah.
Nat sends me messages, and I'm like, honestly, Nat, I needed this. And it's honestly
Yeah.
your guys' messages of like how good we're doing and
Yeah,
stuff
we
like
send
that.
screenshots all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's honestly phenomenal, and I'm so happy that I have this platform, and I'm able to talk to you guys, and I'm able to express how I feel and who I view and the things that I'm going through, along with the things that Nat is going through and things like that. You know, like, we're just really grateful, guys. So thank you so
Yeah, we
much. We really
appreciate
appreciate
you
you.
guys. All right, we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.